Mine was more than a little bit. Mine has a good
Love that.
Yeah, actually my brother is very skilled. My brother's an electrical engineer. So he works with cell phones. And he likes to do ticketing things. I'm like, oh, I watch this.
Yeah, we have most of our channel is
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready to go? Yeah! Okay, I think do we have a hard stop at 3? Is that right? No? Okay, we'll try not to go over. I know I'm the only thing standing between me and some more prizes, so be careful. So, well, first of all, I'm really happy to be here at this event. Thank you for the support from a lot of these folks in here, including Millie's over the last year. It's a long story, but it's to be told over dinner like I did with Robin and Debbie in California. So, but I really appreciate it. It's super nice to be here, and Lisa's been with me the whole way. So it's great to be here. James here. I don't know if you guys remember James. Can you stand up, James?
Yes.
So he used to like be on the side on a chair playing on his iPad, and now he's taller than me, so it's a little scary. So I've only got a few slides, and then we're going to go into a quick demonstration that hopefully we can finish so we can have it as a prize. So go ahead, Jim. Let's go to the next slide. So I don't know if you guys have heard about the Pratt brothers. The Pratt brothers are two young guys in their mid-20s that used to have Christmas kind of decorations in their house and outside, and it grew so big that the neighbors started to get really upset. And so now they have like a dedicated place to do an event, and it's huge. They actually participated in some, TV shows, and so they're going to have an event at the Bell Park in Mesa, which is a little far, but they use 6 million lights, and they use containers. These are containers that are, with facades on them and everything. And Mike Sanders, most of you know Mike Sanders, right? He knew these guys, and he got in touch with them because they needed help because they wanted to maybe have some miniature villages in the event. So we went and visited the park. In fact, we're going to go there again today to take some measurements. And if you can go to the next slide, James. And what they did is you can't really see it here, but this is a container, like a standard size container. And they cut out a 4x8 window out of the container. And you can see that they're starting to build a facade. And Mike and I are going to build a Christmas display in there. These guys have maybe, 50 or 60 houses. And they wanted us to build a display so that people who go there, it's open to the public from, I think, November 20th all the way to January 3rd or something. And families can go there and see Santa and everything. So we're going to have a display there. So tomorrow I'm actually going to Mike's house because I built one half and he built the other half just so that we can make it in time. And then next Sunday, we're actually going to go install it there with the houses on it, and then we're going to put some spotlights inside the container to light it up. So if you can go to the next slide. This is my half. So Mike's half is going to go here, and then I built some floating platforms to go over the half so that you don't see that seam, so it's kind of hide it. And of course there's a plexiglass in front of all that, so it should be interesting. I'll let you know how that goes, because next year they want to do 4 windows, where Mike would do a North Pole, I would do a Christmas in the City, and then we do their own stuff. So anyways, if you have a chance to see it, there's also 2 trains going around the whole thing, and it's supposed to be a nice family event. So, Bell Park in Mesa. Next slide, please. So, in the past year, I'm going to catch you up a little bit on what I've been up to. I went to Leavenworth, Washington, actually with my kids because it was fall break. My wife has a new job, so she couldn't really travel. So we went up there and we worked at Chris Kringle for a bit. So this is the view in Leavenworth. It's pretty cool up there. Next slide. You'll see, and this is a little town, like a Bavarian little town. Go ahead, James. Here's James in action, working on the edge of the display. They get a lot of traffic there, especially since it was Oktoberfest. So all the edges get kind of chipped. So we refinished the edges and kind of put some flex seal on it to make it rubberized. Next slide. And then I did a little peanuts display. So we didn't do too much that time because it was so busy, but we had some fun. Next slide. This is Leavenworth at night. Another slide. The kids, you guys might remember Claudia. She's now a Pilates instructor as a side job, so she's certified. So, of course, she works on weekends, so she couldn't be here. But the kids are getting old, as you can see. Next slide. And then I went to Grapevine, Texas, another store there, to do their front window. They had a nice, huge pumpkin, and in there we put the Disney Mansion, and then on the side of there was like the Ghost Office and other pieces. So it's really fun to do front windows. So did that a couple of months ago. Next slide, James. So also when I was in Texas, there was a guy over there that has a big Dickens display. And he has a different approach to most of us, which is that he likes to turn all the lights off, put some soft music, and enjoy his village in the dark. And I don't know if you've ever done that, but when you look at your village in the dark and you don't have any lights on it, all you have is the lights inside the houses, and it's actually kind of hard to see the front of the house because there's nothing lighting on it. So he had all these little spotlights, mostly VMAX, everywhere, and it worked for what he was doing, but he had to put all this snow batting on it to hide all the wires. So if you looked at it up close, there was a lot of wires and he didn't really like it. I go to the next slide, I think I've got more pictures of that. So you can see all these little spotlights, but it did achieve what he wanted to do in terms of a look. So, and I thought it was a good idea, so I thought, well, he wanted me to do something better for him. So I started investigating because I've never done this before, and I started looking at doing that for him. I go to the next slide. So you can see his whole display there. It's pretty big. It's about 10 feet wide and about 3 feet deep, and about maybe 40 houses. Go ahead. And he also has a North Pole. You can see his dick is back there, and a North Pole one with all the spotlights. Let's go to the next slide. That's again. So I built this thickest display for him with miniature spotlights, and these spotlights, and I've got some details on the next couple of slides. They're mostly for jewelry cases because you attach them, and you might have them actually in your cases, Don, like jewelry, and they kind of light up things very brightly. He also wanted me to have kind of a turnkey solution for him. So this is the back of the display, which is not very pretty, but it's got a power strip built in there with a lot of plugs. And it's got the dimmer for the spotlights, and then a little hub to plug more lights into it. Because what he wants to do, he wants to run his light board in there, and then leave them there, and then put away the display. The next year, the only thing he has to do is put his house is there, turn it on, and everything goes on. So, look, next slide. So I got these little spotlights, and they're actually pretty cool. They come in white or black. These are from Amazon, but you can find them other places. $43 for a set of 6, but they also have them in 8 and 12, and they're very bright. So before doing his display, I think that's it, right? Is there anything else? Okay. Before doing a display for him, I figured, well, I better build one, a small sample, to make sure, you know, it makes sense. So I built this little display here, a little Christmas in the City, and I want to show you without this, because it's pretty dark in here, but so this one doesn't have the dimmer built into it, but you can see the little hub over here, and you can see the dimmer. And the spotlights, I've got 4 in here. I've got one here, one behind the trees over here, and then one in each tunnel of the man-made kind of little water feature over here, so that it would light up. And then I built a little platform like this to kind of hide the spotlight. So when you look at it like this, you can't see the spotlight. Okay? Because they're pretty tiny. And then this little fence here, which is just a half-inch piece of foam, and the trees hide the other spotlight, so you can't see them. But they are pretty bright. So here's what it looks like without the spotlights on, especially the water feature. This is just painted blue with some resin on it, very quick one. But when you turn it on, let's see if I can prop it up here. You can see that it lights up really bright. This is maximum power, so maybe that's a bit too much, but you can dim it like that so that when you're looking at it, your water feature kind of lights up, and then any houses I would have here, if I put it back down here, I'm going to steal a house real quick. Alright, so I'll show you without the spotlights. Put that in here. You see your house over here. And I'll put my little platform over here. Okay. And then if I turn it on, you can see that it lights up the house really nicely. So if you like to see your village in a dim room, this is a really good way to do it, and they're pretty easy to integrate. And the way I have them in there, there's still a little bit of flexibility in them where I can kind of lift them up and go sideways a little bit to adjust them if I want to, if they're not at the right spot. Or I can adjust the house like this to put it in the right light. So, yes, I like the house too, because this, you know, all the holes in here, it's kind of nice to have the cord in there as well. So, but this lights up the front. So I hope that makes sense. I've got an additional spotlight here to show you what they look like. So here's a little spotlight. As you can see, they're pretty tiny, and they swivel on a head like that. But the angle is not very. Put it over here. The angle is not a whole lot. This is about as much as the angle is. So what I do is I take it out of here. You can actually pop the spotlight and get rid of that base, because the end of that cord will come through the hole, and then I just have this piece. And instead I build them into that without that base, just because the angle is not enough. So I'll show you. If I put it back in its little base here, it goes about like this. This is about as low as it goes, so it's not enough. So I just take it off, and I build them into the display. So I will show you quickly how I do that. Any questions over it? Yep. You could, yeah. You mean like to recess in there? Yeah, you could. You could go a little, like if you put a hole in there and go a little, yeah, you could do that. It's just that the base is a little bulky, but you could do it. Yeah, that's actually what I did on this display. But you can also pop it up like that. The other thing you can do if you have a backdrop like this,
It's a switch bank,
and
so it's more powerful.
and you have, say, a mountain background back here that you just light it up behind it so that you can see it better. Because they are pretty bright. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do that on a separate display and show you how I run the cords. Yes? Oh, Jesus. Overboard, I promise not to go. I'm known for, you know what, I'm going to take a hug. I can see you're more comfortable with this thing. Yeah.
Have you ever used them to light a house up on the inside?
Oh, that's a good point. You can actually do that too.
Okay.
Because of the size of these, I mean, you grab that, you could, and the dimming function of it is really nice. So you could actually sit it here and put it in there and light up the house. Which is very cool again because you can dim it if it's too, So it's very cool stuff. Thank you for mentioning that. Because when I noticed the base, I thought, oh wow, that fits in all the houses. So that was a good idea. Thank you. So, and then they come also in white. So I got a white set for doing a North Pole display. And this one came a little different. It's got, instead of having a dimmer wheel, it's got a clicker thing. And it's more like low light and high light. So it's flexible. And it's got a USB plug. So you got to use like a phone charger or whatever to plug it in. But it does have 12 ports in it. So if you want to add more spotlights, because you can buy the spotlight separately, you can add to it. Same price, but I figured white might be nice for North Pole. Okay. Any questions so far? Make sense? Yes?
They're LED, right? So they don't get hot.
That's right. Yeah, they're all LED. And you can get them in warm white or cool white. So I recommend warm white because that's the glow of the houses that we get, not that bright kind of daylight white. But if you wanted that for other reasons, you can get it in both kind of lighting scenario. So I'm gonna show you a very quick example on how to do that. James, can I get you to unpack 3 of these? Thank you.
If you wanted to, say, have the top layer white and the water layer, you'd have to have 2 different sets.
You'd have to have 2 different sets. That's right, because the dimmer controls its entire hub. So if you dim it, then all your lights dim. But you can get sets of just 2 as well, like a hub that has just 2 lights. So you could have, and that's cheaper too, so you could have separate sets so you could dim the lighting. Because you may want to have your lighting for the houses a little different than, say, the water feature. Because the water feature is pretty, especially if it was dark right now, this is pretty bright, so you may want to dim it down. All right, so I'm going to show you, I took a little head start before coming, so we didn't start from scratch. And this is just extra stuff. Okay. All right, so we're going to do a very quick little North Pole version of that, so you can see how I'm going to insert the spotlights in there. So here I'm going to show you this, a little water pond feature here. Actually, you can take out the little ties. Gonna have a little, very demanding, a little pond here, a little kind of water canal and a little waterfall. Very, very simplistic, but you'll get the idea. And then we're going to have 3 houses on this. We're going to have one, see here, one over here, one over here, one over there. So this way we have that step effect. Since there's a house here, we want this a little higher house here. So let's do that. We're going to start with the water feature to kind of get that out of the way, and then a little backdrop, so which we will paint at the end. So let me do that. I'm going to show you how to paint a water feature very quickly by doing a 2-step carving. So this is like the width of my river, or a little stream here. Start that, and this is going to be a carved out little stream. And here we'll make it curving a little bit. Don't know can you see okay, or
Yeah.
I'll lift it up after a little while here. We've got that. Okay. This side back here. Carve that a little bit lower. And then I'm going to carve this down a bit. Sometimes I do water feature by building up around it, and sometimes I carve in it instead. So for a quick vignette today, I'm going to carve it in. Everything okay? Oh! Spill aisle 5 here. And while I do that, a little funny story when we went to Leavenworth. When you go to Leavenworth, you go to Seattle, and then you either rent a car and drive over there. It takes about 2 hours. Or you can take a small plane, but the small plane gets you about 30 minutes past Leavenworth, so you kind of still have to rent a car to go back to Leavenworth. So it's like not very handy. So this year we decided to take the train, because the train is kind of nice and scenic. It's the Empire Builder line, and we took the train. It's only $25. It was like super cheap. So even Lisa took the train with us on the way back. So we took the train, and we get there around 9 p.m., right? And because there's a station just a mile away from Leavenworth, we get there and it's pitch dark, you know. And there's another lady with us that's all alone. And so I just figured I'm just gonna, do Uber or Lyft. No, there's no Uber, there's no Lyft, there's no nothing. So we're like, oh my God. So there was a local couple that was on the train with us, a very lively couple, that also were arriving home there, and they had their pickup truck parked there. So, and they were about to drive away, and they said, do you guys have a ride? And we said, we don't have a ride. It's like, it's like, oh, well, do you want a ride? Oh, I guess we're gonna do a ride. So we all jumped on the back of the pickup truck with our luggage, and that lady that was alone with us, and we just kind of drove to the hotel, and we get to the hotel with coming out of the back of a pickup truck. It's one of those with a cap on it. So we all come out, I mean, it looked like total smuggling. So we come out of there with our luggage, and James was like, oh, that was fun. So needless to say that we had a ride to go back to the train station when it was time to leave. But it was fun.
Tell them about the buildings that you were telling me.
The buildings?
Yeah,
Yeah, if you build in Leavenworth, commercial, you have to have a Bavarian style looking architecture. It's part of the town, and it's pretty cool. It's not a big town, but when you go there, it does look like it does look like a little German town or Austria. So it's very nice. So we and I've never been there during fall, so all the leaves were turning. So it was quite pretty. All right. So I'm going to show you what I mean by this 2-step. So to make this very simple, I'm going to paint. This is the Liquitex, my all-time favorite Liquitex paint, and I'm just going to paint this here. Okay, make sure I get the bottom really good. And I'm not worried about the edges because I'm going to carve them, so they're going to go back to white without having to repaint again. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do the front of this. Line it up here, roughly. That. And then we're going to put a little bit of realistic water on it to make it shiny when it dries. And then we're going to paint the bottom of our pond. Again, this is one of those 60-minute vignettes when you're like really in a rush. You have a party tonight and Doyle's like, I got to do a vignette before the party. This is it. You got an hour to do it. Okay. Okay, we have a week. How about that? Okay. All right. So now we've got that. Just a little spot here. Just gonna do a little of that. And as you can see, I've got blue everywhere. So I'm just gonna take my carving knife again, and then I'm just gonna carve the sides and leave the bottom alone. Hang on. Jack that up a bit. So I'm going to carve the sides here, just kind of make it North Polish kind of carving. And get rid of all the blue that's on the side. Is the audio okay? Okay. Yeah. Right. Yes. I don't want to go too far in because that's a spot for one of my houses here. But I want to make sure that the blue of the water is all at the bottom. Yeah. This, and I'm going to do the front as well, and then we can put a little bit of snow on there as well. So do this side here. Do you guys see okay? Yeah. I got to do a shout out to Debbie over here. Debbie is whenever I go to Knott's, because Lisa sends me out to Knott's and that Knott'sberry Farm to install their houses. Debbie is a local. She comes out, she picks me up at the airport, and then we work on these together, and we come out of there pretty dusty and pretty dirty, right?
Yeah, we do.
But it's a lot of fun.
She picked you up in this truck.
In a pickup truck, that's
I
right.
have a 7-passenger van.
It's a nice, yes, it's definitely nicer transportation.
Perfect for a road trip.
But we didn't complain. Just getting a ride to the hotel was really nice. And on the train ride, there was a group of Mennonites. Is that how you say?
Yeah.
And I've never actually interacted with anybody like that. And there was a group of 8 of them. And I go to the little diner car and I sit down, and one of them sits down in front of me. One of the guys, and I'm like, I don't know what to say. And he just starts chatting, super nice. These guys were funny as heck. And then in the back of the train, they started playing a game, like some kind of game that they made. And they had some train watches, so we went up there and talked to them. They were super friendly. It was very interesting to interact with these folks. And they actually had left New York and went down to Texas, all by train, to Texas, to Phoenix, Los Angeles, back to Seattle, and back to New York. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like a month kind of thing. And they didn't have a sleeper car. They, just regular seats. I would probably die doing that. But they were really super nice. Now let me just carve that real quick here, and I'm going to get to the place where we do some lights in there. But I just wanted to show you, if you want to do a quick water feature, that's a very quick way to do it. Get rid of the blue here. Okay. Okay.
Define what's the actual color of the blue.
What's the color I used?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It's on the can.
It's on the can, but does anybody have some good eyes? If you can say this word, I'll give you $5. It's about 14 letters in that.
Pass the can around.
Pass the can around.
Yeah, pass the can around.
Yeah.
That's better.
Let's pass the can around. Just don't hit the cap.
I'd say take your top off.
I did that one time. I was driving home and I had that wood crate over here, and I had my paint in there, and I left the cap on, and then I piled stuff in the car, and all the way home I'm hearing. I come home and this entire thing. It wasn't this great. It was completely painted with everything inside. So first I thought, could it be a tire? There's no way I can hear my tire. No, it was a paint can that was just.
Spraying away.
It's very hard to say, but take a photo of the can. I like this blue because when it dries, it's got a little bit of a kind of shimmer to it, and just pass it around.
San Diego Cayenne Blue.
He's more courageous than I am. So yeah, that's right. He actually said it. Thank you, Dora.
Where are you buying it? I take it Amazon.
No, I buy these actually from on Amazon. They're pretty expensive. I buy them from Blick Art. I try to find them in stores, but it's hard. So I just go online, and with Blick online, if you buy like 6 cans of these, the shipping is free. So, and I usually buy them like 20 at a time, not just the blue, but different colors. Like this one over here is 3 different grays and white, and then this one is just a straight blue. Okay. So here's where we are. Okay. Super simplistic, but it tells you a little bit about what we're going to do. And then I started doing some little icebergs that we're going to use for our lights, okay, to kind of hide the spotlight. So I'm going to show you the first spotlight. So let's do that. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take it off for now. You're right, we can leave it on, but it comes out of there. Yeah, whatever works. All right, and then I'm going to make this tool a little smaller. Don't do it when it's on. I have. It's not pleasant. Yeah. Yes. So probably the stupidest thing I did is I had my glue gun, and by the way, I agree with Derek. Shirt bonder is also what I use. It's a smaller roll from Hobby Lobby. I think they're 5 feet long, but it's the same thing, and they're great. But anyways, I'm doing this big thing, and I'm doing this thing like this. And sure enough, it comes like right here. And then, first you have about 1 second of peacefulness before you scream. And it was like, ah! That was like the stupidest thing I've ever done.
We'll go back over to the left.
All right, here we go. So I've got my little knife here, and this is just kind of trial and error. I'm trying to put a house here, right? So I'm going to put the spotlight kind of as far as I can to the house. I'm going to put it right here, leave a little bit of room for the little iceberg. Okay, that should do it. Because then my spotlight is just going to sit. It's going to sit. Well, where is it? Where's the other one? Why you don't have to in the front? Yeah, there it is. Got it. All right. It's going to sit in here like that. So I carved at the angle a little deeper at the back so that it sits like that. But then you can also adjust it. Now the only thing I need to do is a small hole in here for the cord to go through. So I'm going to take my straight knife, do a tiny hole, and luckily these cords are very small. So I'm just going to do a little, here this is all going to be covered so you won't see it. So just to make it simple, you make it big enough to pass the wire. Now you have to do that, of course, if you're a person like me who kind of glues the layers together. Obviously you got to kind of think about it. Do it before you glue your layers together. So I'm going to take the spotlight again, and I'm going to pass that through here. Just like most village people, we like to hide the cords as much as possible, right? Pass that. So these cords are really nice and long, so if your hub is like 4 feet away, it will still reach it. Okay, now we've got our little spotlight here, and then since this is going to sit on that, obviously I don't want that cord there, and all you do, take the cord out a little bit, and then you just do yourself a tiny little groove in there. Don't be afraid to go deep enough so that the cord goes in. Thank you. Okay. And then you just kind of put your cord in here, press it in there, and it will, if you don't make the groove too large, it will actually kind of just sit in there like that, and then you can use something to push it in, but now it's nice and flat like that. I don't even need to glue it in. I could if it was like falling out, but then this way it's coming out of the back where my hub is going to be. So, and then I kind of want to light up this water feature, so I'm going to do another one here. And then I'm going to build in 2 or 3 spotlights in here, but the person who wins this will win the whole set of spotlights, which I think is 6 of them, 6 or 8 of them actually. So you can add more to wherever you want, and then you just hide them. I'm going to do that again over here, get over, go there, go kind of deep a little bit, and then just taper up so you get this little wedge kind of thing, and then your light can sit in there. So it's a very simple process. The key is to hide them. Now, even if you didn't have anything in front of them, there isn't a whole lot of spotlights showing, but I kind of like to hide them like that. So push that over, a bit forward in here. This is our bottom layer, so we might do a little bit of glue in there just to make sure it stays in there. Take the base off. That's right, that's right. Yeah, you don't have to, like you said, but but you know, it makes it a little, I think it makes it a little easier. And then pass it through here. Okay, there. And then we're gonna carve this thing, glue it together, put a little bit of snow on it so that we have a finished display. Oh, sorry about that. Row 1 is always in the splash zone. Okay. If I understand correctly, Robin, you are just coming, is Robin here?
Yeah.
Okay. You're just coming back from Asheville, North Carolina, right?
Correct, yeah.
And he visited the Reynolds Mansion, right?
Correct.
So if you guys know, there's a D56 building, the Reynolds Mansion, which is owned by the president, or I'm not sure his title of D56. It's a beautiful historical house. Do you mind saying a couple of words about it, Robin?
Well, it's beautiful. It has been sold to a South African couple about a year ago.
Okay.
But it's wonderful walking through what the design was that Scott envisioned, and walking through it. It's beautiful. It's built in 1847, 20 years before the Vanderbilt Mansion, the Biltmore Estate was, and that's of course all in a Christmas build out right now. So that's fabulous. But yeah, I've done this once before, and there's another one in York, Pennsylvania, called It's a Christmas on the Hill or Christmas Mansion on the Hill. That's another piece that is Snow Village produced. So I've walked through 2 of those little houses so far.
Yeah, it's pretty cool when you have a little house and you see the real version of it in real life. Okay. All right, so here's our second spotlight. All right. Put that here. All right, so I'm going to take my little icebergs over here and carve them up just a little more. Now I'm going to show you how I conceal it in there. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more character than this clump of foam here. Okay, some nice groove in there. And then I'm going to carve a little opening here for the spotlight, so that when this is in here, it's sit right here and you don't see the spotlight at all. So, and I'm going to give it a little blue before I put it on there. Just a little bit on top, and then come back with some white because I like the full blue when it's a water feature, but when it's just to show a little bit of kind of frostiness or ice blocks, I kind of like to taper it down a little bit with some white. Doesn't seem to be doing much. Oh, there we go. Now it was too much white. Come back with that. Too much glue now. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we have our little thing here. Good, good, good. And I'm going to keep it aside. All right, I'm going to go ahead and carve this base real quick. And I'm going to use, do I have my other, let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to use the sculpting tool. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with the tools by now, right? Everybody has these, right? Pretty much. Yes, yes. You see a lot of yeses out there. I don't know how you do a village without these tools. So, but this is quicker than the other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and do a very quick carving around the entire thing here. No time. How are we doing on time, Don? Oh no! We're gonna switch to the other tool. We good? Okay. Oh, it's a little slow. Yeah, or maybe I can get Doyle here, my handy repairman, to reattach my sculpting. Just send me a bill. I added to the tab of paint colors. And by the way, this white, it's called white. No, just kidding. It's called titanium white. They do have a transparent white, which is not very effective. I mean, you have to spray. Yeah, you have to spray a lot of it. I don't actually know what it's for, but it's there's got to be a purpose to it, but. Probably, but I think for what we do on the phone, definitely the titanium white is good. I believe that's the only two whites that they have. Carve that here. Did I really mess it up there? No? Maybe I was a little too aggressive on the trigger. Let's see. Thank you, sir. There she is. Back here, and then we're going to do a little staircase in the front, so you have a little staircase to get in there. Oh, awesome! Works even better than before. There we go. Just quick, easy. I'm going to do a little bit of blue edging around it. I'm going to use the other tool for the staircase, a little easier. Do some overhangs a little bit here. This, and then a little bit on the top. All right. And let's take the rest of our display here. All right. Let's go ahead and maybe I should build in at least one more spotlight, so that our piece down here is also lit up. So I'll do that real quick, because once it's all glued together, it's going to be a little rough to add. Now, if you wanted to add a spotlight afterwards, then you can use the same hole that I'm going to make for this house. You can use the same hole and send it down there if you want. The only rope, cord you're going to have is whatever goes from here to there, so you'd have to find a little creative way to do it, but you could use a small foam platform, so it's not that hard to add more to it later. So let's go ahead and do our staircase while I have this tool going here. I'm going to make it kind of as square as I can. Okay. Let it go before I turn it on. Okay. And then this way we have a little bit of here. Doyle, what did we do? Yeah, it is turned on. It's just acting up. Okay, here we go. The silence during the dragon. Here we go. Okay. That out. Or this out. This out. Okay. And we're just gonna do that and take our little sanding so it's not so sharp. So sharp on the edges. Okay, good enough for what we're trying to do. I'm going to go ahead and, okay, good. Good. Right. And then build one more spotlight for you guys here. Down at the tip right here. We're going to have a house right there. Here. Here. Not quite deep enough. Do another cut. Whenever I'm cutting something that I'm not quite sure or I can't see, kind of go a little conservative and then carve it again. So do that for our cord. And while Robin was speaking, you might have seen that I put the cord here and just a little bit of tacks of hot glue gun in there to make sure it stays down there since it's our bottom layer. Has anybody here used spotlights before like this? No? You think? Good. Nice to try something new. And you know, I've been doing this for more than 15 years and that was also my first time. I did use some spotlights before, like my customer did, just, you know, sitting there. D56 used to make a set, if you remember. So they're, you know, they're pretty nice to use. Because it's really nice to see the front of these houses, especially with the little signs. If you have a house that has LED lighting on the outside, yeah, then they're pretty lit up from the outside. But other than that, if it's just a bulb inside, then it's hard to see everything on the outside unless you get all your lights on in the room. Put that in here. Spotlight here. Sorry about that. And we'll be ready to finish this up. That. Just like that. Couple of go at it so it's wide enough to put it in there. And we do have a few North Pole houses, so we're gonna lost our camera. I guess it times out after a while. Yeah.
Yeah, low battery.
Low battery? Oh, all right. Well, hopefully in about 10 minutes, we should be done with this total mess I've got going on. So just a little bit of dots, or you could do like a long string here, and this way your quartz is not going to pop out of there. Okay, let's go ahead and put our sections together. Okay, so we've got our middle layer over here. I'm also going to use the same gun. A little bit like that. And I'm going to align it with the front to make sure it makes sense. A little like that. This one, we already have our spotlight in here. Here. Line that up. Okay. That. And then the last thing we need to do, I'm going to put this extra platform on top. Okay. And we'll do this one. We're hanging a little bit here. Okay. And then maybe before we glue everything together, we do a little test. Little test, make sure everything works okay. Before, well, I already glued it together, right? It's gonna work. It's gonna work. The sequence of events didn't quite occur the way I had in mind. Hang on. Hey, James, can I get your assistance? Can you find the little hub over here? Can you plug that? In here, there's a iPad charger, USB. Yeah. If you can plug that down there, that would be great. All right, so let's. You might have noticed earlier I didn't carve the sides because I knew I had more foam coming, so I just then kind of carved it together. This is our quickest tool I've seen Debbie do magic with that thing. How many people do we have from California today?
There's 10.
10? Oh, wow. Yeah, welcome here, guys. Pretty nice. All part of the same club?
No.
No?
2 from San Diego, 1 from BAA. But I think they all joined our club.
Oh.
Our California 56 club is now over 100 people.
Whoa.
Satellite, we do satellite every other month, and in person the other month. So,
Wow.
yeah, they're, it's either a satellite meeting or it's an in-person meeting. But we're having our Christmas party in October November because we don't meet in December.
Okay.
And we have several satellite people that are coming out for the Christmas party. They're making a road trip to come to us. All the way from Canada, Tennessee, Northern California, all over the place. Arkansas, yeah.
Wow.
So we're because of Robin and Marvella.
Yes.
Marvella.
And Debbie.
We're growing.
And Debbie.
And Debbie.
Debbie is a collector of the year, I believe, from a few years. Oh,
Yes.
yes, and Robin has been recognized as well.
From the
Both Robin and
2017.
Yeah, we've been Club.
Did the cruise ever happen
That's a couple of weeks, actually.
in Europe?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Germany.
Wow, that is going to be awesome. And did I see Lee Geringer here? Hey, how are you doing? Still in charge of Village Lights, I assume? There's only one magazine, and that's it.
And you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Yes.
You are doing a wonderful job.
Were you around when D56 had their own publication? Although I don't know if they really did it themselves. I don't know. Celebration, I think it was called? All right. Thank you for filling this. Oh, are you pulling the hook down? Oh. When I see Sarah come, it's like, oh, I'm getting the hook. You guys know that Joni is, I believe, in Chicago, right? Yes.
I did a pretty good job though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Don't try this at home. These quick vignettes are not masterpieces, but
Yeah, exactly.
you know, it gets you. All right, so I know we have one. Try to do a clean up here real quick. One little iceberg over here. Okay, with this guy, and then.
On the other side over there, next to your.
Oh, thank you. I had kind of started just to get things going. I'm gonna show you a little wall as well. So I'm gonna just carve this one quick, give it a little bit more shape. Okay. And we'll just try to do all the painting in one shot here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This way our spotlight is completely hidden. Ooh. And there. Doesn't take long to move in place. Let's do this one. Okay. Okay. Sorry for the interference. I'm gonna take your new time on this one. Okay. Jinx? Just looking at videos last. Can you unwrap that for me? Back here. And then the third one.
Steph and Lisa asked me to check on your timing.
My time?
Your timing.
My timing?
Yeah.
I need about 10 minutes.
That's fine.
Is that good?
Yeah,
Because
that's
I
fine.
want to finish it so we can give something halfway decent. Okay, here's the third one. Okay, I don't want to forget painting this. Oh, I can see that. Was that Carl? Was that Carl's stuff? No. No? Oh, it's yours. Oh, that's why you get liquid this in there. All right. And let's carve this one real quick. Thank you. And I may not even use this one. I wanted to show you a little wall here. So here's a tiny little piece of foam, okay? Like I usually. It's just a piece of 1-inch foam, cut really, really thin. So I'm gonna go ahead and do like a little angled wall here. So I'm gonna cut it in two. And I'm gonna do some little lines on it for brick or ice blocks on it. Okay, just very close to my fingers. This is very close. Good to feel it. Okay, and then so we're gonna hide the third one here with kind of a little 90-degree wall here, just to show you something a little different. I mean, really, you could put little trees there and you can set. This way, it's kind of hidden. Okay, glued, everything glued. Okay, it's good to go. So let's take this. Use the same cap as before. Keep the good one for later. That's going. All right. That, I'm just going to apply a little bit of glue to the edges of that and come back with some white. Okay, so this is a little tricky because I just want to hit the edge. Is that what's going on? Oh, no, look at this. Yeah, thank you, good. Paint the tools. Just kind of hit the edge a little bit, and then, like I said, then come back with a little bit of white on that. Lose video again. Yeah, maybe that battery is really. We're almost done, so it's up to you.
Yeah. Oh, no, there was one you want me to grab last one.
Okay. And we're going to soften that, as you can see how bright that is. You can see the difference, right, between the water feature. But we're going to snow that too, and then I'll put a little bit around the edges of the water so it blends a little bit better with the sides. Okay. I think that'll do. Alright, so now here's where we are. Before I forget, we'll do the same thing with that. With this, I just want to kind of hit it. There. And a little bit of white from the top. Okay. Here. And I'm going to do a little, since we have a lot of wires back there, wires for the houses and for the spotlights, we're going to cut this so that you can pass the wires behind there. Okay. And you might have noticed that I forgot to do one more hole, which is, okay, where's the trick now? You see the mess I create in about 60 minutes? Huh? You! Okay, I forgot to do a hole right here, right? These I don't mind because they're just going to fall off the back, but here we need a hole for the... Hang on. For the house. And then I'm just going to do a channel underneath for that port to go through. Okay. Switch over to that. Oh my gosh. Almost time. It's almost time. Okay. Woo, that was close. Whoa! Recommendation is to look underneath the display first to make sure you don't cut the photo of the spotlight. See that? I think I missed. We will find out. It doesn't matter.
That's true.
Yes. We are at the point of no return. Okay. Wow. Yes, I am a mess. Plugged in. Okay, we'll fix that later. All right, so let's set it up so we can see it. I'm going to put a little bit of snow on this thing. And I want to show you, I'm probably going to hit that microphone very soon. Okay, I've got some realistic water from Woodland Scenics. It's basically just like a resin and some little sponge brushes. And I'm going to put some of that here in the pond right here and in the little river up here. Okay. And I'm going to take this brush and just kind of cover the blue areas with it just to give it a shine. Now you could do multiple, to really give it depth, you could do multiple layers of this, but you have to let it dry in between applications. So I'm gonna send it to here. This is got it. All right. So got it. Okay. Let's apply a little bit of snow. Here. Okay, I'm just going to do the flat. Sorry. A good insurance battle? I'm like this, and it's you have been the target today. Many attacks. Sorry about that. I bet there's a trophy out there for you. Yeah, I put some 3M Super 77 on it. And put a little bit of snow on it. Yeah, you have to really do like a little mist far away because it will yellow the foam. That, and then I'm sure this is still sticky, so we'll go ahead and put some diamond dust on that right here. Hang on, Lisa. Almost there. Which I think we're going to see well when we turn the spotlights on, if they still work. 2 out of 3, you know. Okay. Good enough. Put some diamond dust on that as well. Can you see it through these spotlights over here? Okay, all right, let's try to plug that in. I'm just going to take a couple of these. So I'm not going to plug them in, it's just a normal. Yeah. Just so that it looks a little better. Thank you so much. And yeah, some people, so we can dress it up a little bit. You can choose where they go. It's really just to show it done here. I'm not going to light up the houses, but we're going to hopefully turn on the spotlights.
If the star goes dark.
Yeah, that's right. The whole town goes dark. All right, James, you ready? Let's do this. All right. Okay, here's one. Hang on. Oh. There you go. Well, you can see the difference, right? If you were going to look at this in the dark, and like I said, this one only has a 2. So here's a low. It's pretty low and high. So I prefer the other brand, but it's kind of still the same thing.
Does the other brand come in white?
The other brand come in white too, but when I ordered these, for some reason, they were out. But I could see that they also sell them in white with the wheel dimmer, which gives you complete control of the brightness, like these over here. You know what? I'm gonna look at the iPad and let you know. Yeah. But if you look on Amazon and you look for dimmable jewelry spotlights, I mean they will come up, and then they will show the wheel, so you know which one you're buying. This one. Yes.
All right, who wants to win that split?
Anybody? Okay, all right. No glasses guy, so you can see everything in.
Lynn.
It's not here.
It's Lynn Costello. I think yeah, she's back here. Congratulations. We'll bring this to you. Okay, very nice.
You can find it at Hobby Lobby Market.
Let's do that first. Okay, so this was donated, never been opened, but the box is a little torn up. So the foggy point, it's never been opened. I know. All right, let's draw this one here.
John.
Right drawer.
It is a North Pole winery. It's already signed?
Martha Draper.
Give it to you.
us at Hobby Lobby or Michael's.
They asked me to say something. I don't know if you guys know who I am. I'm the Vice President of the National Council of Department 56.
Speak up, Anna.
My name is Anna. Oh, yeah. If you're a Vice President, you have to have a mic. I am not a professional.
So my name is Anna McPherson. I'm the Vice President of the National Council of Department 56 Clubs. This is now finishing up my first year of my first term. And Lisa wanted me to say something. So thank you very much for coming. This is an impromptu visit for me, so I don't get to Arizona very much, maybe once a year. But I'll be moving back hopefully next year. So, this is kind of where it started for me. I really started collecting at Millie's as my, and a few pieces before we moved to Arizona, but then this is like really the store that got me hooked on Dickens Village. So Southwest Villagers, I didn't join them. I met them right before I moved to California, so I'm hoping to become a full member next year. But yeah, thanks for coming. We had such a good time with you, and I hope you guys had a good time with us.
I think we're gonna start handing out the certificates for the contest. I think everybody did such an amazing job. I think Lisa and Paul can agree that it's so hard to judge these things. And this year we kind of gave you a bit of a challenge. Gave you a random bag of stuff to find, and I think everybody did such a great job. Some things were so hard to find. You guys like blended it in so well. So we do have best use of categories, and then this year we did do an employee's choice. Our employees wanted to kind of be involved, but next year we will go back to people's choice. I know a lot of you guys missed out on that a little bit, so I do apologize, but we will bring that back.
Well, let's just see if anyone can something when it's corporate related.
Okay, so entry best use of a penny goes to Mary Jewel. Yay! That was entry number 1. Best carving technique goes to Lee Geringer. Best use of wooden dowels goes to Frank. Best use of elevation goes to Addie Lawson. All right. Okay, best use of sponge brush goes to Darlene Stout. Best use of squiggly eyes goes to Bill Lindholm. I don't know why I'm Bill Lindholm. Best use of rocks goes to Susan Chapman. Best use of pine cones goes to Everly Clark. Okay, an employee's choice. I don't know what I wrote. Last name Cook. Leah? Lynn Cook. Sorry. And then our grand prize is oh, I'm sorry, best landscaping is Patty Duncan. Okay, and then we have a grand prize would be Marlis Bertelli. Thanks for participating. I hope I see as many vignette contests next year. I'm going to give you a secret. If you if you haven't participated on the NCC page, vignette contest that I run every month, make sure at least to enter in November, because in December we're going to just do a drawing, so nobody's building, and as long as you've built one throughout the year, you get entered into the drawing.
Thank you all so much for coming today.